specific, I have a therapy appointment and I'm going to go frolic in the woods before that. So I'm getting ready for the trees. So October flew by. I cannot even fathom that it happened. But it's November, so we're just gonna roll with it. I have had a pretty big month, and I have some pretty cool stuff to talk about, which I'm really excited about. I think that the biggest thing that I did in October is that I finally went back to the city that I lived in, Nijmegen. And the first time that I went there, I stayed in my friend's studio apartment for a few nights just to feel how it is to live on my own again and take care of myself and to see some friends. Now, she lived pretty far from the city center, and because of my energy levels, I didn't have the opportunity to go into the city, so I just spent most of my time around her apartment. But that's okay. It was nice to dip my toes in, if you will. And so, yeah, I stayed there for a few days, and then I came back and just took some time to see how I felt and how tired I would be. And it was pretty okay. It didn't wipe me out as much as I thought it would, which is a good sign. And so last week I went back, and I mentioned this in my non-ASMR life updates video, which is very directly burnout related. And that's kind of where I talk about burnout in the recovery process, but that's for family, friends, and people who have burnout. So this is more of like us as friends catching up, telling you what I've done, and that was more of like how it's all feeling in the process. I don't know, it's different. You're getting the tea. But so last week I went back, and it's really hard to find a place to stay for a few nights in the city that's not extremely expensive or booked. And I have friends who I can stay with, but most of them live in student houses, and that's a bit too much for me right now. I think I'll get overstimulated within no time and struggle a lot more with fatigue. While when I am alone and I have my space to myself, I think I can get more rest, you know. city. It felt so normal, and I loved that. And the one thing I do like about, it sounds really weird, but about my health situation is the fact that I get to do a lot of things for the first time again that are pretty normal. But I don't know, I love the idea of doing them for the first time again and enjoying it all over again. So that was nice. And then I went back to the apartment room, whatever you want to call it, and I laid down for a bit, and then at around 3-ish, I went to go see my roommates. I kind of wanted to surprise them, but because half of them have school and the other half has work, it's really hard to find a time where everyone would be there. Honestly, that rarely happens that everyone's there at the same time and is available at the same time. So I just texted 2 of them, and it was so fun to see them again and to walk through the house again and see, every time someone moves out, there's a whole switcheroo inside the house, like within rooms, so you'll move up to a bigger room when someone leaves a big room, depending on how long you've been there. So there had been a lot of switching, and it was nice to see how everyone decorated their new rooms and just generally catching up. They had a new cat because ours had died, which is really sad, but they have a new cat and he's really cute and cuddly. But yeah, so I just walked around the house with them, and then we sat down in one of their rooms and we all hung out and had the time to catch up, which was so nice. And I just felt so whole to be in a room with them again and to hear them talk about what they've been up to and how they've been doing, and it just feels like nothing has changed and I haven't been gone that long, and I think that that's a really, really good thing. So, that was that. And then at night I went to go see a friend who lives really close to the guest house, and we make music together, and he's come to visit me a few times, which is really cool. But it was nice to be in his house again, and we made some music, just a tiny little bit, but it's good to do those things again that make me feel like me. So yeah, it was a really good experience, and it was one of my favorite days of the year, I think. And that next day I was supposed to meet up with a friend, but that got cancelled because he had a school thing. So during the day I went to go get a massage, and I talked about this in my last video about the Thai massage, because I was like, if I'm going to see a friend in the evening and I'm in a, do you hear the cows? Well, life on the farm is kinda laid back. Anyway, I have a really hard time resting and recovering after activities, and it is really important for me to rest and recover after an activity. So after I'm done filming, I need to like lay down for a bit or do something very calm, and I have a hard time doing that when I'm in a new place or when I'm just really excited. So I was like, you know what, treat yourself. I'm going to book myself a massage to have that forced rest moment. So I went to go do that, and I've had a massage before, like multiple, but it was massage therapy, which is a bit more of an intimate setting, if you will, and you talk beforehand, and it's like this whole process towards getting the massage. But here it's like you walk in and this lady comes to you and she points you to her room and she's like, okay. And I was so confused, and then she came back and I was still dressed fully. I was just sitting there like, what? But I was supposed to get undressed and get on the table, but I didn't realize. just takes a little bit more effort than it normally would. So I was so hesitant. I'm a very indecisive person as is, but also with the burnout I get decision fatigue a lot. I talked about that in my non-ASMR video too. I just get overwhelmed so easily and I can't make a choice to save my life. I really, really can't. And I hate that. So it was kind of between the apartment or the room. And that next day I told the girl with the room, like, hey, I wanna do the room. I'm in if you're in. Because I was like, I'll have roommates, and my worst fear, or like my biggest thing, is that I don't want to get lonely, because I already feel lonely and I don't want it to get worse. And if I have everything on my own, I'm like not seeing anyone, I have no interactions unless I invite people. But it's not very hard to invite people, and I do have friends who live there who are walking distance, so I had said yes to the room, and then I started to really think about it, and I woke myself up thinking about it at 3 a.m., laid awake until 6:30, fell asleep, woke up at 7 with a migraine because I was so stressed and indecisive on like what to do, which is very typical for me to do, by the way. But yeah, I thought about it a lot, made a pros and cons list, decided to go for the apartment because it's clean, it's big, I have plenty of creative space, and because I lost my job, I am now financially depending on YouTube, which I don't really like, but I am going to try to make it work because I want to see where we can go and how this can develop and grow, and it gives me a lot of space to still work on my recovery because I still can't work. I'm not fit enough to work, so I can't really apply for jobs because I can't rely on my energy, and this gives me a lot of freedom and flexibility, so that's nice. But I figured that having the space a little bit outside the city center would give me a lot more quiet, and I think that the idea of being in the city center made me feel very claustrophobic, like I was very locked up. Give me a sec, I need to do this. So yeah, there were a lot of pros and cons to each of them, but I figured that being in a little bit more of a quiet area, like in a neighborhood, would be a good thing. I hate the way that this thing applies. It looks so bad. Anyway, so I decided, does this look alright? I don't know. I decided to say yes to the apartment, and I could not be happier. The thing that really confirms that this is a good choice for me is that when I said yes to the room, I was still very stressed about it. And the second I said yes to the apartment, this weight fell off my shoulders, and now I'm just mostly beyond excited. So I'm going to move in January for 3 months, and I'm really glad to say that I am, and I'm really proud of myself for taking the step and for actually saying yes and just going for it, because I'd been really scared and hesitant, like, is this the good choice for me? And I struggle a lot with figuring out if something is right or wrong for me. But the thing is, you only learn by trying and experimenting and failing and trying again and adjusting, and if you never try, you never know. So I decided to just take the chance, and it feels really good, and a new chapter, and now it's it's just a matter